I don't think you could do it.
Backs, you are undoubtedly familiar with the...
Rivalries are renewed on NFL Primetime. Niners and Rams clash for first in the NFC West, while the Bears and Pack duel for the top spot in the NFC North. Who would get the start in Minnesota? Would the Lions get a win, or would Keyshawn get a touchdown? The Jets try to get a win with the bus sideline. And a surprise showing for the Pats in New England. Dallas tries to upend the G-Men as the Chiefs try to find their way through the black hole. How high can the Eagles fly in the NFC East? Up next on NFL Prime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
If they only knew. Hi, and welcome to Week 13 of Sunday NFL Primetime. Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson. So we have big games today. Big, important games on this Sunday.
Well, and I think the best of the best today started to show us a little bit of separation.
Yeah, a lot of things that we kind of thought in some of the respective divisions today, at least for one day in the season, kind of borne out. Of course, the Swamp didn't think of all those things. But at any rate, Tommy, how good is it when teams who have been playing longer than anybody else, like 163 times, finally have a game that means something? The Bears and Packers at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And there's the site of the big game, Vince Lombardi and the Papa Bear George Halas. They weren't there, but it felt like there was, as Brett Favre leading the charge. And the Packers came out. Well, what they wanted to do was get up on the offensively challenged Bears, and they did. Favre to Antonio Freeman, that's 33 yards. Later in the drive here, opening drive of the game, Favre to Freeman, touchdown to the Pack, showing authority out of the gates. They lead it 7-0. But speaking of authority, how about Brian Urlacher and Tommy? The closing speed of this man is incredible.
Yeah, known as the delayed blitz, you saw him wait to make sure the back was blocking, and then that last 10 yards from him to Brett Favre, he does it in what seems like about 2 steps.
And then watch Urlacher here, boom, and then turn on the Jets. With seconds left to go in the half, Urlacher is down the sidelines inside the 20. What a big play. And you saw the jawing between the two of them before. They know Sapp is leaving the division. Urlacher's coming in, so they're going to jaw kind of friendly. But the Bears cannot capitalize. Jim Miller to David Terrell, incomplete. They try the same play on the next play, 2 seconds to
And
go.
understand that Miller's throwing this ball to the back corner of the end zone. That's where he expects the receiver to be.
So the Bears are forced to try a field goal, 23 yards for Paul Edinger. And this isn't even a good corner kick in soccer. That was pathetic. And so the Bears get the big play, and they trail it 7-0. The Papa Bears says, what's going on here? But to Chicago's credit, they came out smoking in the opening drive of the third quarter. Anthony Thomas, the A-train, 19-yard touchdown. We are tied at 7, and he had blocking to spring him.
Yeah, number 71, James Big Cat Williams, a great job of blocking and sealing off the outside, getting a lane for the A-train.
Who's on the sidelines for the Packers? Let's play some defense. The Minister of Defense, Reggie White.
And Bernardo Harris must have got the vibes.
Yeah, he almost takes the handoff right here, and amazing that Jim Miller was actually able to hold on to that ball.
But we have a 7-7 game. And so midway through the third quarter, Brett Favre, shadow of his own goalpost after the Bears did an excellent job of punting it deep to Bubba Franks, the tight end, 20 yards breathing room. 3rd and 8. Favre. Corey Bradford, a fine catch for 16 yards. Next play. Watch the speed of Amon Green and watch the speed of number 30, Mike Brown. 2 fine plays by those guys, but it's 29 yards. And then did I say speed? Amon Green to the left, whoop, makes the move, and in the shadows, standing in the shadows of love, it's a touchdown. 91-yard drive on 9 plays, capped off by Green, 12-yard run, 14-7. Field goal Packers, 17-7. 4th and 5. Jim Miller, 2.5 to go there. It's incomplete. It's on an interception, incomplete. And you know who loves it the most? Vince Lombardi. The Green Bay Packers have equaled the Chicago Bears at 9-3. They are now tied atop the NFC Norris division. But it's the Packers who have swept the Bears, so any tie really goes to Green Bay. So the record's the same. Tiebreaker goes Pack. Here's Sal Paolantonio at Lambeau with Darren Sharper.
Thanks, Boomer. Darren, you guys were able to shut this Bears team down. What was the key on defense?
Just flying around to the ball. I know during the week, the Bears going to come in here. They had some success in the past. They're going to try to dig and dunk the ball, try something deep. We just had to fly around and make plays, and that's what we did today. We were able to control them.
In the third quarter, Miller had Booker deep behind you.
Right.
What happened on that play? You intercepted it.
I tell you what, man, I was so upset that early in the game I wasn't getting the ball thrown to me, so I had to let a guy get behind me for them to throw it to me, and luckily he underthrew it a little bit, and I was able to make a play.
And now you guys control the division.
Yeah, we do. That's why this game was so crucial. It's just a huge game. We control our destiny, and that's what we wanted to come in here and do.
Stay healthy.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Chris.
All right, Sal, Darren, thank you very much. Look, first thing, so in this game, it's up the NFC Central. Not that surprising, even though Brett Favre's in the game. We're talking defense. Bears held the Pack to 17 at Lambeau, but yet their offense, part Packer defense, Tommy, part Bear offense, it just doesn't seem to be anything that could score 20 points.
You look at the Bear offense, they do not stretch the football field vertically. Most of the passes they throw are within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, whether it's to a running back or a wide receiver. And then I think you give a lot of credit to the Packer defense. In 2 games this year, in terms of rushing yards, they held the Bears to 97 yards. And I think that when you start talking about balance, and we will as we get toward the playoffs, Green Bay is one of the better balanced football teams in the league with Brett Favre, Amon Green, and company.
Yeah, they have, and if they can continue, they've lost that 1 game to Atlanta at home, but remember, they have games, they can get a top seed or second seed and play at home. I know we're putting ourselves ahead of things, but big win by the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Norris, a team that hasn't won yet this year, the 0-11 Lions, in the home of the team that invented losing. Would this be the place that the Lions, Marty Morningweg, would get his first win? Well, you remember the 76 Tampa Bay Bucks, don't you? 0-14, some of the humorous variety. John McKay said, what about the team's execution? I'm in favor of it. But these Bucks, you're in good hands with Allstott. They don't resemble those Bucks. They're starting to roll. 24-yard touchdown. Allstott sprung by the fullback.
Watch the fullback, Jameel Cook, right there with the kick-out block, and then once you get Mike Allstott in the open field, very hard to bring down.
The Bucks lead at 7-3 later in the second. Brad Johnson and Keyshawn Johnson. Jimmy Wyrick defends it perfectly. 5 seconds left in the half. Figure why not? I mean, what? The old, like a Bailey Howell or Connie Deerking hook shot. It's incomplete, but it's the end of the half, 7-3. Remember Jason Hansen had kicking woes last week? He's usually very good, like here. Hansen had a big game. That's his 3rd of the game. That's a 50-yarder. Detroit leads 9-7. Now Hansen, another field goal, 12-7, 3 minutes to go. 4th and 5. Brad Johnson to Mike Allstott, first down clutch. 4th and 8. Minute 18 to go. Brad Johnson to Keyshawn Johnson. Down at the 13. Then, the Lions almost have it to end the game. But with under a minute to go, new life, Bucks. And Keyshawn Johnson makes his 10th catch of the game. It's his first touchdown of the year. And what a good time. I mean, Wyrick had a good defense on the play.
A great job of standing in and throwing the ball by Brad Johnson.
And then when you're 0-11, you fumble the kickoff with a chance. You got a hot field goal kicker, but Desmond Howard, no Heisman pose here, and so the 0-14 Bucks of 1976, their legacy, well, it's still being challenged by Matt Millen. I feel sorry for Matt. Why is it everyone in the box with Matt does exactly the same thing? They used to all have goatees, and they all shave. Sometimes they put their head in it. They all do the same thing. And the Tampa Bay Bucks win at 15-12, and hey, look, they struggle with the Bengals, they struggle with the Lions, but they've won 3 in a row, Tom, and they're 7-5 going into Chicago.
And it's something that they do this time of year. I think the thing that's going to be most troubling to Coach Dungy is the 54 passes, the 54 times that Brad Johnson has to throw the ball, because we know that he wants to run the ball first and throw second.
Yeah, averaging 10 yards of completion. But the Bucks are now in it firmly at 7-5. They have a shot when we return.
In part by Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Fujitsu. The possibilities are infinite.
All right, so we've just had the Lions. Now we get the Bengals. Then we get the Panthers playing the Bills. Jacksonville is thrown into this mess with Mark Brunell playing hurt, strained right quad. How many tough games can they lose? Brunell to Jimmy Smith, 17-yard. It's a touchdown.
Good tackling.
9 catches for 119, and Jimmy Smith, 6 consecutive years over 1,000. Jerry Rice, Timmy Brown, Chris Carter, Lance Allward, Jimmy Smith. Pretty good job. 7-7 at the half. Third quarter. Mark Roman, Greco-Roman wrestling. It hits Brunell's throwing hand. He gets treatment. Return after 1 series. They needed him because the Bengals led 10-7 in the fourth. But right at the beginning of the fourth quarter, after Brunell comes back, you saw Jimmy Smith. You know he's going to go to Keenan McCardell here, Tom. And 11 yards to touchdown. There it is.
Good coverage.
The Bengals were 2-0. They're not anymore. Cincinnati have fallen to 4-8. Same record as Jacksonville. The Jags win it by the count of 14-10. As we told you, that Jimmy Smith got into the record books, and that's a pretty darn impressive accomplishment. And now, for 2 teams combined at 2-21. Carolina at Buffalo. They honored Marv Levy at halftime because he was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. We honor Marv as well. Alex Van Pelt. Could the Bills win at home this year? Ever since, the wall came down and the 2 Germanys, got together, Reggie Germany has been playing much better here.
Yeah, Mike Minner was in coverage. You saw it. Reggie Germany tipped the ball. It got tipped by Minner, and then he came back and made the catch. It was great concentration.
Larry Sanders has caught more passes than any other running back. That does not add to his total. Third quarter, Carolina leads 24-13. Chris Jinky does it. Musi Muhammad, does this play sum up these 2 teams? What? Oh, those funny Panthers and Bills. The Bills down 24-13, but a reminder, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I can't shout it, but Brandon Spoon is going to ladle it out. 44 yards for the touchdown off the hands of Donald Hayes. Then the Bills score again, and Buffalo. Their last home game is next week already when they play New England. George Seifert won on opening day, and it's just tough to watch. 25-24.
Alex Van Pelt, 20 of 29. Impressive numbers.
What does that mean?
Might have to get him out of town.
Oh, the Bills circling 1 wagon.
NFL 2002. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Rated E for everyone. The Canon Rebel 2000.
George Young died at the age of 71 after a short illness on Saturday night. George has been a fixture in pro football since he joined Don Shula with the Baltimore Colts in 1969. Moved on with him to Miami eventually, but of course is best known for his 19 years as general manager of the New York Giants, turning a franchise that hadn't been in the playoffs since 1963, took over in 79, into a 2-time Super Bowl champ, drafting the likes of Phil Simms, his first pick, Lawrence Taylor in his 3rd year there, and he hired a guy who turned out to be a pretty good coach by the name of Bill Parcells. Since 97, he's been an executive VP with the National Football League. His wife, one of our favorites, Lovey Young, our hearts go out to you. George Young will be missed by all of us, dead at the age of 71. George loved all the games that he would have enjoyed watching. He certainly watched his old team last year, the Giants, and today the Giants were at Dallas to play the Cowboys. So here we go with Quincy Carter, who won last week for the Cowboys against the Redskins, and all of a sudden he's feeling his oats. Carter to Rocket Ishmael between Williams and Sehorn down to the 1. Ishmael at 118 yards receiving today. And then with this one, Emmitt Smith, his 2nd touchdown of the year, tying linebacker Dexter Coakley on December 9th for the team lead in touchdowns with 2. Oh, by the way, Emmitt is 147. It's hard to catch the ball when you have a broken hand, as Rodney Williams had.
Yeah, Rodney Williams playing with a broken hand, and you talk to Coach Fossil, he's an outstanding athlete. The ball got through. He tries to scramble for the first down, comes up a few yards short. And re-injures the hand.
Yes, he does. So 13 all early fourth quarter. Carter fakes, and he's going to keep it. This is what he can do. He can run it down into 3, and then how does Jackie Harris dust it off, get this wide open?
First time we thought it was a tackle eligible, and they didn't think that he could catch passes.
It was a tricky play. Tight end was eligible, Tom. And then Emmitt Smith, his longest run of the year. 44 yards with the Cowboys trying to enter their 20-13 lead. That sets up John Hilbert. The kick from 48, it's doink, doink, no good. The double doink to the chagrin of Dave Campo. Can Kerry Collins lead a comeback? Collins 13 yards to well-dressed Amani Toomer. But this time Dallas gets the double doink. Watch. Pass thrown to Toomer. Off Dwayne Hawthorne. Doink to Darren Woodson. And the pick and the victory is saved. And all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboys, well, they beat the Skins. Now they beat the Giants. And at 5-7, the defending NFC champion New York Giants are in deep trouble. Dallas wins at 20-13.
And it looks like the Dallas Cowboys may have found their quarterback for the future. His career best, 194 yards for Quincy Carter. So his best day yet this season.
Despite 110 yards running for Tiki Barber, the Giants lose to the Cowboys. First place team in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike Riley, Andy Reid. Riley's Chargers have lost 5 in a row. Reid was looking for the team to play well at home. Watch this play by Jeff Graham. How does he get it? Crackering his way 61 yards for a touchdown. Circus play ties the game at 7.
Excellent defensive position by Troy Vincent. You really have to take a look at that play to see how great a catch it was by Graham. Vincent right now realizing where the ball is, and it's too late.
And then LaDainian Tomlinson, he fumbles it before Brian Dawkins gets there, but Dawkins does the rest. He could go all the way. Third defensive touchdown this year for Philly. Boy, did they do that a lot. 14-7 Eagles. Just under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Donovan McNabb to Deuce Staley. Watch the moves on the fake flubber. And then whoop, and then whoop. Another move that, boy, Tommy, looks like the old Deuce. 37 yards. Same drive with 3 minutes to go, 4th and 1. McNabb to James Thrash between defenders, 24 yards, first down. 3 plays later, they're down at the 8. Okay, let's run that play. Andy not ordering from the menu. He's ordering this play. McNabb to Deuce, 8-yard touchdown. Eagles lead it 21-7. Minute to go and a half. Doug Flutie says, you know what, Jeff Graham, you made that catch. How about this one? He zings it in there. It's a ball game at halftime. 21-14. And then Flutie going deep. Shoot that, what was that, a wounded? Troy Vincent with the pick. Next Chargers possession. Still down just 7. Doug scrambling. And he dives in the first time, but it's a fumble. Hollis Thomas, Philly recovers, leads to a field goal by David Akers, 24-14. 7.5 to go. Scary moment here. A sideline official, not one of the regular officials, but the players were out of bounds. Oh, he comes inbounds. This elderly gentleman, I hope he, yes, looks like he's going to be okay. And that's good. But Philly's a tough crowd. And the Eagles beat the Chargers 24-14. So again, the Eagles defense doing some scoring, offense doing just enough. And the Philadelphia Eagles are 8-4 and in complete control of their division.
Have to mention Brian Dawkins' play today for the Eagles. 10 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a TD return, 49 yards for a touchdown.
Yep, they certainly bring the defense. When we return, Minnesota kept the starting QB in question till the game time against Tennessee. Could Eddie George and the Titans win no matter what? And Tom Brady, 7-3 as a starter. Must win against the Seattle Seahawks. That's our Sunday night game at the bottom of the hour. Seahawks, Broncos, AFC West. We're with BT.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Minnesota at home against Tennessee. Randy Moss, I'm going to stand here when I want to stand here. Can Randy come out and play? Well, you have to ask him, apparently. Culpepper, Todd Bauman. Who's going to start? Denny Green not tipping his hand right until game time. Eddie George, meanwhile, hurdling a defender, scores. He got hurt for a while, came back. 10-0 Tennessee after a quarter. But then, brain trust. It's Todd Bauman who starts. He's talking with Randy Moss, Chris Carter. Todd Bauman from
St. Cloud State.
Near
Fergus Falls, Minnesota.
Completes his 20-yarder to Moss. And how does Moss catch it? Actually, what a throw.
When you really watch this, Randy isn't really looking at the football when it comes in. I would say great concentration. It's an outstanding throw by Todd Bauman.
That's that floater. We saw that late last week at Pittsburgh. Then look at Jake Reed with the juggling catch. All of a sudden, the Vikings lead 14-10 at the half. But Bauman then adds another touchdown early third, and then that famous Bauman to Doug Chapman combination. We were talking about it all preseason. Hit that down. 28-10 Minnesota. Bada likes it. Dan with the score 28-17. There's the speed of Michael Bennett, Tom, that we heard about from Denny this summer. 35-17. Then Bauman to Randy Moss, and talk about breakaway.
And there's some speed right there. The angles by the defense, all bad. Randy Moss faster than everybody thought, and he's gone for 73 yards.
So here is Moss and Bauman, who making his first NFL start. And all he does is throw for 348 yards and all those touchdowns. And in about a 12-minute span of the game, he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, first NFL start, and I think you saw what he could do with a little bit of mobility. And Dante Culpepper suffering from being one of the leading rushers, for most of the season for the Minnesota Vikings.
So the Vikings improved to 5-2 at home, but they're just 5-7. 6-5, Cleveland at 7-5. New England, important game for playoff possibility. Two teams that no one expected to be there. Tom Brady, Tim Couch. Who thought they'd be playing in a game of this magnitude in December? A little snow on the field at Foxborough. And Corey Fuller. Boy, the Browns have done this more than anyone else. 27 picks for the year, 2 today. There's a touchdown, and the Browns lead at 10-3. Drew Bledsoe says, you know what? Chances are you're still going to be in there. Giving some encouragement to the youngster. And look at the poise in the pocket. He comes right back like a real good relief pitcher who served up a home run ball. Tommy saying, give me another one.
Yeah, if you watch him throw the football, look at the accuracy. Look where the ball is thrown. Watch this throw right here in the middle of 3 Browns defenders. He puts it right on the money, right where the receiver can catch the football without taking the tremendous hit from the defense.
And then Antoine Smith first and goal. It's a touchdown to the chagrin of Butch Davis, and we are tied at 10 at Foxborough. 1st of December, covered with snow. So was the turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston. Troy Brown getting some blocks, including the big fella against the kicker, and he could go all the way. Troy Brown in.
His band of renown.
85-yard return, 17-10 of the punt. The Patriots, look at the blocking.
Yeah, take a look at some of those blocks. Lawyer Malloy going to come across on Dwayne Rudd, and then Richard Seymour sneaking out Kardaki, the kicker. You got to love a 300-pound guy who goes and finds that kicker.
Oh, it's about a 150-pound difference. Under 2 minutes ago, the first half, 17-10 game. Otis could go, but you need the ball. It goes the other way. Juwan Dawson. Oops. Otis, my man Smith. Meanwhile, Cleveland still in possession. Couch's pass picked off by Terrell Buckley, an Olympian effort. He runs around. He thwarts his way across the 25. And the Patriots are up 20-10 at the half-minute Terry with a field goal just at the end. Tom Brady, Troy Brown inside the 10, then 1st and goal with the score 20-16 under 3 minutes to go. The Patriots put it away. And then the defense put it away after that. They do not play prevent defense. Antoine Smith's second touchdown of the game, 27-16. The Patriots are now 8-5, and 2 of their 3 games left. By the way, they have a bye still coming. 2 of their 3 games left are Buffalo and Carolina. Games you'd think they would be in good shape. Troy Brown, over 1,000 yards for the year with our Ron Jaworski.
Boomer, thank you very much. Troy Brown was his own band of renown today, not only going over 1,000 yards, but your 85-yard punt return broke the game open. Tell us about it.
We knew we had our work cut out for us when we came out here today. You know, we knew Cleveland was a tough defensive team. They made some great stands on us, you know, inside the red zone, and we were able to fight for some points in the 4th quarter there and came out on top.
Troy, this team is charging toward the playoffs right now. When did you believe you could be a playoff contender?
We came into the season thinking we could be a playoff contender, but we didn't get off to a good start this year, and we got to dig ourselves out of a hole, and now we got ourselves, you know, turned around. We're back on top now, and we're fighting to win the AFC East right now, so hopefully we can keep it going next week.
All right, Troy, congratulations. Good luck against Buffalo next week. Back to you, Boomer. The Pats are hot.
Yes, they are, Jaws. In addition to those 2 games, Tom, Buffalo and Carolina, they have Miami, division leader, at home in 2 weeks on a Saturday.
And I think we find something we like about Tom Brady every single week. Corey Fuller with the interception return for a touchdown. Tom Brady, short memory.
When we return, another game between teams.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Important game between 2 6-5 teams in the NFC West. Jim Haslett, New Orleans Saints, playing in Atlanta against the Falcons. Falcons score first lead 7-0, but then Aaron Brooks to one of Tommy's cousins, Willie Jackson, 14 yards, first down Saints. Then later in the drive, he doesn't play that much, but Deuce McAllister making the most of his time, just kind of
It's the most relaxed play we've ever seen.
to Willie Jackson, touchdown, and we're tied at 7, those tricky Saints. On the ensuing kickoff, Derek Vaughn, kick return Atlanta. And then the cousin of Jackie Gleason, Steve Gleason, recovers for New Orleans, and away we go. On the next play, Saints. Aaron Brooks, the Joe Little Bighorn, down to the 1 line. Setting up a Ricky Williams touchdown run, 14-7 Saints. Chris Chandler over the middle of Sean Jefferson, moving on down. It's a fumble. Fred Thomas picks it up, and he could weave and go all the way. Run a run, 21-7, but no, wait a minute. Peep show. We're going to review it, Tom.
Yeah, they review this play. We'll take another look at it as well. You look at Sean Jefferson, appears to clearly get both feet down and about to take a third step. Ball comes out. Ruling was an incomplete pass.
Well, so now it's fourth quarter, still 14-10, and Brooke the Joe Horn. Is he a big play guy or what? In the end zone, he has some fun, and the Saints lead it 21-10. Another big game for Joe Horn, 7 for 138. And then Deuce McAllister, ace, Deuce. Deuces are wild. Man, no one's going to catch him. He threw one pass, he ran one ball, and he's in the end zone twice.
And something we may see more of, both Deuce McAllister and Ricky Williams in the backfield at the same time. Great kick-out block by Ricky Williams.
Meanwhile, the Saints had 9 sacks. Chris Chandler to lead the game briefly. He was game playing on that injured ankle, but 9 sacks by the Saints who bring it. That one was Glover. This is Jay Bellamy. And after spotting the Falcons a lead, the Saints go on to roll 28-10. Their 9 sacks now gives them 45 for the year, and they, like the Rams and Niners in their division, are explosive on offense.
And we start to look at the time of the year and what we're seeing the Saints do well. The sack, good play by Aaron Brooks, Joe Horn, the big-time receiver this time of year.
And the Saints are now 7-5, a big game looming in a couple weeks. Fellow 7-5 team Tampa Bay. That may settle the final spot. We'll see. And now to settle the top of the NFC West, it's the 49ers and Rams, each at 9-2, each with great offenses, obviously. Kurt Warner, Terrell Owens, first play from scrimmage. Why don't the Niners show they're going to be, we're back. Let's go for a deep post. It's a go! Terrell Owens was open. Jeff Garcia, in a theme we would see, just couldn't find him. And then on third down, Aeneas Williams makes the pick. So it goes from bad to worse. So the Niners gambling early. They need touches. Rams twice went for it on this drive, 4th down. 4th and inches. Falk gets the first down. 4th and inches. The next time around, oh, those tricky Rams. Warner walks away. Marshall gets the pick. First down, St. Louis.
Yeah, and they obviously picked this play up from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cordell Stewart and company did the same thing last week.
So Warner pulls it off. They get the first down. Let's look at it. Let me walk away. Kurt Warner has answered many questions, Tommy, about his passing ability, the way the team scores. Not often does he get asked, how are you on the stage, big boy?
Well, they just told me to see if I could act. They said I was in those chunky commercials, so maybe you can act enough to get us a first down.
Nothing chunky about Marshall. Look at this run, Tommy. That was the next play after they convert the 4th down, 6 yards, 7-0 St. Louis. Final seconds, late first quarter. You know what, a big game for St. Louis? Ricky Prohl. Both little blocking, big catches, touchdown, 15 yards, 14-0 Rams. Garcia off his game all day. It's Ty Streets here, a circus catch to the 25-yard line. That's a 20-yard completion. Garcia looking for Terrell Owens. And Aeneas Williams, who shadowed him in game 1, won by the Rams 30-26, shadowed him in game 2, but he gets called on a tough play there.
Well, it looked like he had great coverage, timed his attack of the football perfectly, even though he wasn't, in fact, looking back.
Owens suffered a hip pointer on the game. He would still play. Garrison Earth, even when they scored, it was tough. And he barely gets in, but the Niners now win the game 14-7. Warner. Now, he's not Fran Tarkenton or Jim Zorn, but look at Warner. Feeling it, and Prohl with a block downfield, helping spring a 23-yard play. Then, Warner, Prohl shampoos his way down the sideline, 24 yards. 3 plays later on 3rd and 9, Warner to Torrey Holt, spreading it around. These are the Rams. Down to the 11. Warner, over the middle of Marshall Falk. He's covered, but it doesn't matter. Touchdown, 21-7 St. Louis at the half. Meanwhile, we haven't seen this all year. We'll talk about the Rams defense later, but Jeff Garcia just seemed out of rhythm, Tom.
Yeah, 13 of 36 on the day, and you know, this is one of the prime candidates for MVP in this league, I think. And you watched him today. He never was able to set his feet, never was able to get into a rhythm where he could throw the ball smoothly. Right here, being flushed out of the pocket and flushed back away from the line of scrimmage. It was just a kind of a day in terms of struggle that we haven't seen from Jeff Garcia.
And London Fletcher with a hit there, and Aeneas Williams is able to come after he makes the hit by Fletcher. Werewolves of London Fletcher makes the interception as Aeneas Williams. Replay show that he got it, and that was the way it went. As the 49ers never got on track. The Rams, I mean, holding them to 27 points at St. Louis is pretty impressive. But it was St. Louis who racked up close to 400 yards in offense to the 220 for St. Louis. In the end, it was Kurt Warner who got his team in the end zone 3 times, a couple of Wilkins field goals. He's with our Andrea Kramer.
Well, I just felt that if we went out and played our game, that we didn't make any mistakes. We didn't make very many today. We made a couple, but if we limited our mistakes, didn't turn the ball over, didn't give them some easy points, the way our defense was playing, the way our offense had been playing, that we felt we could put up some points, and I felt we could win this one.
It seemed that early on you were going to the other receivers. Were you trying to exploit the extra defensive backs they had in there?
They were giving us the right things so we could stay inside a little bit more and work guys like Ricky. But everybody just stepped up and made big plays today, and that's what this team's been about all year long.
Niners had to gamble a little bit. Their pass rush had not been good. They actually sacked Warner 4 times. Look, St. Louis got the lead. And, look, you say what you want. The Garcia and the Niners seemed out of sync for whatever reason. Big reason, Rams defense. I guess we should really write down that this is not an accident when it keeps happening.
Yeah, 220 total yards given up. They ranked 3rd coming into the weekend in the NFL, and I think that you see the way they play. Rush defense at the line of scrimmage. They held Garrison Hurst to 39 yards and less than 150 yards passing for Jeff Garcia. So I think they have the complete package now defensively, and we talked about it. The fact that they've now played together for 12 games. In most areas, that's a complete season except in the NFL. So now they're starting to feel a lot of cohesion with that unit, and too many weapons for the Rams. Today it was Ricky Proehl. It's Marshall Faulk with 30 touches. But this football team has too many weapons, and if they don't turn the ball over, 2 in the last 2 games, they are hard to beat.
And the Rams have now beaten the Niners 6 straight times after losing 17 in a row before that. As we go inside the numbers, and by the way, the Niners rebounded off that tough loss to Chicago before. They're 9-3 and ahead of schedule. Let's see how they rebound as they play 2 more first-place teams the next 2 weeks, Miami and Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the Rams, as we go inside of the number, and the 49ers against the Rams, you know what? The Rams defense, you never thought you'd say this, has their number. Niners average 400 against everyone else. Against the Rams, not even 230.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
When we return the late game, Arizona all of a sudden won 2 in a row. They're at home against Washington, who's 5-6. Can either of these teams sneak into the playoff run? Well, last 4 games against Washington, Jake Plummer's thrown no touchdown passes. Meanwhile, Brett Conway, 48-yard field goal. It's doink! Doink! It's off the upright, no good. Scoreless game. Tony Banks. Just late in the first to Michael Westbrook in a big first half. 6 catches in the first half. Move on to the second quarter. Banks with a play fake to the goal line and then hits Zarin Flemister. It's 7-0 Redskins, Tom.
Yeah, you look at the replay, watch the linebackers for the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody going to bite. You know, one of the things that Tony Banks does really well is cover up the football on his play fake, so he gets a good bite from the linebackers.
Brett Conway from 44 yards out. Doink! It's off the upright. Feeling like Tim Conway. And it's 7-3 still the Skins. Plummer to David Boston. It's a Pro Bowl year despite the fact that he plays where he gets no pub in Arizona. LeVar Arrington after the catch is shoved. Both players flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. Then Jake Plummer. And Boston bubbles it. Arrington picks it up. And LeVar is gone. 43 yards. Sets up a field goal that does it at the upright. 10-3 Washington at the half. Now Conway has another field goal. 13-3 Tony Banks. The rookie Rod Gardner. Not a lot of the high-pick rookie receivers making a huge impression this year. Gardner has, setting up 1st and goal, setting up Stephen Davis. 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons rushing for the Redskins. Stephen Davis, first Skin to do it in 3 straight years. All those years with Riggins, you wouldn't think, but The Redskins win it by the count of 20-10, and they're 6-6 and still have a chance, as David's got 110 yards.
Yeah, I think it's a classic Marty ball, run the football. Don't rely on the quarterback to do too much and let your defense play.
They're 2 behind Philly, who they host next week. Meanwhile, the Jets and the Steelers. Jets a half game out of first. Bill Carr is a teammate in the Eagles in 83-84 with Herman Edwards. Not many people know that. Cordell Stewart to Hines Ward. And in the big ketchup bottle, Hines Ward takes his 29 varieties down to the Jets 24. Steelers without the bust. Jerome Bettis sitting out. Meanwhile, Cordell Stewart scrambling, creating, getting a first down, and then playing in place of Jerome Bettis is Chris Fuamatu Mafala, and he's a bad Mafala.
Shut your mouth.
But I'm talking about Mafala. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Touchdown, Tom. 9-0 Steelers. Chris Brown.
Yeah, watch Alan Faneca come through on Marvin Jones right there and just wipe him out in the exact area where Mafala scores.
So it's 9-0 Vinny Testaverde to Lavernius Coles. Makes a nice catch. 15 yards late second. Jets down to the 18 now. And Curtis Martin, one of the few games he plays back in the hometown of his college, throwing to Wayne Corbett. It's 18 yards. Martin to Corbett. Tricky Jets. They trail it now 9-7. With just seconds left in the second quarter, the score 12-7. Squib kick. Chris Brown hits the Jet. John Fiala falls on it. And Herman Edwards, man, you got to pay attention here, Tom.
Yeah, actually, end of the half, just kicking this to be safe. It's a squib kick that hits James Darling as he's running away from the line, and then Fiala goes and recovers it. So, not exactly the way Cowher drew it up, but he'll take it.
He'll take it. And then with 1 second left, Chris Brown missed an extra point. And, he's kicked big field goals. But remember the game earlier this year against Baltimore that he struck? It seems like in the blackjack division, there's always one of the really good teams that is a kicker struggling. Meanwhile, Cordell Stewart, third quarter, 12-7 Steelers. Shotgun. He's riding shotgun. 31 yards down to the Jets, 31. Brown, I know these aren't chippies. 44-yard fit. You just can't have it. Missed field goal. It's still 12-7. So Bill, 1 is an accident, 2 is a trend. He's got to think about it. Meanwhile, Stewart, the offense, hitting Hines Ward. They love Hines Ward. No one is he blocked. 10 catches, 124. Brown booed. On the Cowher says cheer. Cordell says cheer. And you know what? It's a time for good cheer, goodwill towards men. It's the holidays. And Brown with a field goal. Then another field goal. And the Pittsburgh defense holding the Jets to 220, Tom. Martin just running for 58 yards. Pittsburgh is now 10-2, tied with the Rams. Best record in football.
Yeah, the game plan changed just slightly in the sense that they gave Cordell Stewart more opportunities to throw the ball down the field, and I think you can see that Bill Cowher's getting complete confidence in their ability to move the ball with the passing game.
And how about our Sunday night game? Next Sunday night, Pittsburgh at Idle, Baltimore. We don't get games of that magnitude in December usually. We got one here. When we return, Kansas City had beaten Oakland 18-20, or the Raiders, I should say, but John Gruden's Raiders have now beaten the Chiefs 4 in a row, including week 1 this year. Trent Green with his team up 10-7, swings to Priest Holmes. And what a game Priest Holmes had, running and receiving. 67 yards, Chiefs lead 17-7. With the Raiders score to make it 17-14, down into Jerry Rice. He fumbles, he recovers. Hey, you know what? This would be a historic day. Jerry now has 20,000 yards receiving, including this touch at 20,000 yards. The next one's in the 14,000. He's lapped the field. Congratulations, JR. 21-17. The Chiefs punt to Timmy Brown. They cut Dunn, who fumbled the punt last week in their loss. And Brown, first punt return for a touchdown. 691, his 100th career touchdown. There it is, lead at 28-17. Travian Smith intercepts his pass from Trent Green, but returns the favor with a Pepe. And the Chiefs recover. 3 minutes to go, 4th and goal, down 8. Green. Pass defense nicely by Charles Woodson. Raiders running out the clock with 2 minutes to go. And Dwayne Big Man Clemens blows the saxophone, forces Rich Gannon with a fumble. Raiders have turned it over 4 times, and instead of running out the clock, Kansas City down by 8 has a chance. Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, touchdown. 23 yards, 28-26, got to go for 2. Can we go to overtime like the Raiders did last week? But Reagan Upshaw with the sack, and Trent Green doesn't get rid of it.
You got to get the ball out of your hands. You have to get at least what matters. If it doesn't matter if you get an interception at that point.
And then the onside kick, Joey Porter recovers for the Raiders, who hang on to up their mark to 9-3. They beat the Chiefs 5 in a row, barely though. 28-26, despite Priest Holmes, 109 yards receiving, 168 yards rushing. The first Chief to go over 1,000 since the Nigerian Nightmare. Christian Okoye, 1991, 277 for Holmes, but the Raiders win it.
And I just don't think you can say enough about Jerry Rice. You know, a lot of people thought that Jerry Rice didn't have a lot left. It seems that he had plenty left.
Yeah, 20,000 yards left.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1010-220. Dial it, and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents.
Boomer, you see the numbers on my game ball. It goes to Aeneas Williams. The big number is that the 3 passes defense and Owens 3 catches. Terrell Owens is low for the season.
Well, I wondered if they had hit that first play, Tom. You never know what would have happened. Just a thought. How about your first start? You're Todd Bauman. You throw for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns. The least we can do is give him a game ball. Who did you vote for? It was close. Bauman, Amon Green, Keyshawn with a big catch. Troy Brown over 1,000 is a close vote. And Todd Bauman gets the win. A couple of notes here. First of all, Hanukkah begins on Sunday night. So from all of us at ESPN to all of you celebrating that, have a good holiday season. And the man that invented this show, our one-time president, Steve Bornstein, he and Pete Rozelle kind of concocted this show, NFL Primetime in '87. He got married last weekend. Carol and Steve, congratulations. We wouldn't be here without you. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime.